In my opinion, Hardcore Lives is a record that I think will speak to the youth and the older school as well.
We try to keep the energy throughout the whole record going up and down, kind of like a movie, you know?
It's a little more of an upbeat record. There's a sense of urgency with this record. All the elements that make us who we are in this record.
I try to do what I did on them old records. I try to go back and listen to the music I was listening to then and just try to get that energy that was around back then when we were writing music and about stuff going on.
We have all these different influences, you know, and it comes out in the music, but the foundation is obviously, you know, old school hardcore.
Just, you know, I try to take it to that era. It's an era of hardcore, an era of our music that I wanted to try to recapture, but, you know, 2014 style.
It's been a long time coming, but then we had to scramble and make it happen.
A big difference on this record is we spent a long time writing for this.
Individuals will come up with riffs and we'll bring those into the room as a band, and the four of us will hammer them out.
Some of the riffs have been around for years. Oya had a bulk of them. Mitz had some riffs flying around, you know, even Mike had some ideas going floating around.
Freddie's going to be listening to the song as it goes, and he's got a vision for where it's got to go because he's, you know, in his head, he's thinking about what he's going to sing on it. And so he's a big voice as far as the arrangement of things go.
Usually we go into a studio with a deadline and start working for it.
When we set a date, that's when we go in and structure the songs and arrange the songs, and then it starts to become an album.
This time we knew we had to do something special, something that was gonna stick out, and something to rap underground music, especially hardcore music, to the masses.
We always want to make sure that every record that we have is going to have, you know, elements of everything that makes up Madball.
As far as like chemistry goes, I mean, I think that was a big factor in why this record feels the way it does.
This was the first time we wrote a whole record with Mike Justin on drums, and he was a great addition to the writing process. Mike's a consummate musician, and he's really he's got very well thought out input that he gives.
We didn't want to make another stale record that just kind of went by flat.
It's very important to us over the years to keep our sound current, while at the same time not abandoning where we came from and not trying to sound like, you know, the newest trend on the block.
The people that have gotten a sneak peek of this record, you know, people from all walks, when they bring up a song, it's always a different song, you know? So that makes me feel like there's a good body of work there.
We always want to open up a record with something that's moving. It's got a little bit of an up-tempo vibe to it.
There's a couple songs that really stick out to me on this record. Hardcore Lives is definitely one of them. I remember when we had the riffs flowing around, something about it reminded me of when we were writing the DMS record. And I had that same feeling. It reminded me of bank robbery music. And I remember that's usually a good feeling.
There's references to Agnostic Front in there, to Minor Threat, to Sheer Terror, to Sick of It All, you name it. So it's kind of he's doing a little play on words, mixing those in there.
Something about that song had that up pace, that 86 style of hardcore that, you know, we grew up with. It had that same attitude, but something about it had a real mean edge to it.
Someone may prefer Born Strong, you know, which is a song with Candace, which is a more metallic style song.
It's a very metal influenced song, with also a good hardcore vibe to it on some of the breakdowns and things like that.
Strong is definitely one of the songs that I knew from jump was gonna be a banger. I remember having that opening riff, and it's on that Slayer tip, but we mixed it with that New York hardcore shit. And I remember thinking, the metalheads are gonna be happy about this one.
We had Candace from Walls of Jericho do a guest vocal on that song, which came out really good.
You know, she killed it. What up, Candace? And was psyched on that one. Definitely one of my favorite songs on the record is Doc Martin's Stomp.
which is a more boyish kind of vibe, you know?
Doc Martin's Stomp is one of the first times we've ever mixed any kind of melody into one of our songs, so it was a little bit going out on a limb for us.
Let's do a hooligan style, a hooligan themed,
Boycore, I like to call it.
a little bit of the old skinhead hooligan side of us. It's definitely the most different song on the record.
We always like to try to mix a little something new in there to keep it fresh, and on this record I definitely think that's the song.
I think where we are right now, at this stage in the game, writing-wise, songwriting-wise, and all that, I think it's just, I think we're in our prime. The people that have been supporting us, and even the people that are just getting into us now, I think they're going to be the judge. For some kid, this may be his first Madball record, and so I want to know what that kid feels. We have a good family right now, man. We have a good unit, we have a good team, and we have a record that we feel really, really, really good about.
We still feel hardcore doesn't get the respect it should, so we had to make sure that we did something that was heard. Again, that's why we call it Hardcore Lives.
Hardcore lives.